There are moments in history when silence speaks louder than gunfire, when a single act of conscience cuts deeper than any sword. It was the winter of 1918. The battlefield of Ardennes lay drenched in smoke and frost. Among the ranks of the 3rd Infantry, discipline was law, and fear was the language of obedience. Captain Reinhardt, a man known as the Iron Wolf, ruled his unit with cruelty disguised as order. His boots struck the mud like hammers, and his voice cut through the wind like steel. He believed respect came from fear, and loyalty was bought with punishment. Among his men was Private Elias Corren, a quiet recruit with eyes that never wavered and hands that had known the weight of hardship long before the war. He obeyed every command, spoke only when addressed, and earned nothing but indifference from his captain. Until that morning. During an inspection at the edge of the trench line, Captain Reinhardt barked an order that would cross a moral line. He demanded the men fire on unarmed villagers suspected of aiding the enemy, a punishment meant to set an example. Elias froze. His rifle hung by his side. Around him, every man's finger trembled on the trigger, waiting. Reinhardt turned his glare on the recruit. "Fire, soldier," he growled. Elias did not move. His silence was not hesitation. It was defiance. And in that frozen instant, history held its breath. The wind howled between them. Reinhardt's rage erupted. He stormed toward Elias, seizing him by the collar. "You'll obey or I'll make an example of you," he roared. Soldiers around them stiffened. Mud shifted beneath boots. Breath turned to vapor as spoke at last, his voice calm, steady, cutting through the captain's fury. "An example, sir?" Before Reinhardt could answer, Elias stepped back and in one precise motion unclipped the captain's revolver from his own holster, unloaded it, and set it carefully in the mud between them. The act was so swift, so deliberate, that the air itself seemed to freeze. The captain stared at his empty holster, then at the recruit who had just stripped him of power, without violence, without a word of disrespect. The silence that followed felt endless. And for the first time, Captain Reinhardt had no command to give. No one moved. The entire line stood frozen, rifles half raised, eyes wide with disbelief. Reinhardt's face flushed red, his jaw clenched tight. He wanted to lash out, to reassert his dominance, but his voice faltered. The sheer precision of Elias's act, the quiet discipline behind it, had shattered the illusion of control he'd built. The major overseeing the inspection, Colonel Weiss, had witnessed everything. He stepped forward, boots crunching against frost. His tone was calm but firm. "Captain Reinhardt," he said, "you've dishonored this uniform." The captain's shoulders stiffened. "Sir, the recruit," Weiss interrupted, "reminded us of what this uniform stands for." He turned to Elias. "Private, you're relieved of duty for the day. Return to quarters." Elias saluted, his hand steady. "Yes, sir." As he walked away, the men parted silently, their eyes following him, not with pity, but with respect. Reinhardt stood motionless, the revolver still resting in the mud. His authority, once absolute, lay beside it, stripped bare. At night, whispers spread through the barracks. "Did you see him?" He disarmed the captain without drawing blood. He made him powerless with discipline alone. The moral took shape not through words, but through the awe that lingered in every corner of the camp. True strength needs no cruelty. Real command begins with conscience. For the first time, soldiers spoke of courage not as the willingness to obey, but as the wisdom to know when not to. Weeks later, Captain Reinhardt was reassigned, silently, without honor. His name faded from reports, replaced by a quiet rumor that followed him wherever he went. As for Elias Corren, he was transferred to reconnaissance, a role that valued restraint as much as bravery. His superiors described him not as bold, but as principled beyond rank. Years passed, and the story became something larger than memory. Recruits retold it at night around the barracks fire. The day a private disarmed a captain without lifting a hand. They spoke of the look on Reinhardt's face, the stillness of that moment, and the calm certainty in Elias's eyes. It became a lesson shared in whispers, that obedience without morality is slavery, and that silence, when born from courage, can echo louder than war itself. When Elias was asked about that day years later, he said only this: "A soldier's duty is not to obey power, it is to protect honor." And those words, carved into memory more than stone, became his legacy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories from states of history.